I was just so angry at the world and what I was given.
We as women, we can be brutal.
Yeah. Tear each other down, negative comments, all the above. Yeah.
No, motherhood, and I'm not just talking about physical motherhood. A lot of us are called to that, and that is stunning, but a spiritual motherhood.
Yeah.
A call to nurture and be there for each other. The Fierce Athlete Podcast is here to empower female athletes to thrive in their God-given identity and femininity. You are a daughter of God, fully feminine, fully strong. Welcome back, everyone, to the Fierce Athlete Podcast. This is Sam Kelley.
I'm Juliana Dalton.
And we are continuing our series on femininity, true femininity. What does it mean to be athletic and feminine within sport?
Yeah. And I think we're going to start off by kind of describing or defining what is the opposite of femininity.
Yeah. So if you tuned into our last podcast, which if you haven't listened to, we actually would encourage you to hit pause on this one and go listen to that one, because that episode lays the foundation. This episode is going to get more into the practicals. Okay. Like, how do we actually live this on our teams in sport? And yeah, something that we didn't really have the time to get to last time was, the opposite of femininity. So we kind of defined masculinity as sacrifice, the opposite of that being dominance. And femininity, we spent a good amount of time talking about receptivity, an active receptivity, a ready receptivity, and the ability then to bear forth life. But we didn't get to the opposite of that, which I think we see the unfortunate result of in sport a lot today. And the opposite of that is, if you think about receptivity requires an openness to other and openness to life. And so the opposite of that really is being closed off. It's being self-focused, resulting ultimately in a spirit of death.
Yeah. And I think when it comes to sport, being closed off is probably the worst thing you can do, right? You're not receiving anything. Therefore, you're not able to give forth your best.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I remember a specific time in my life where I was just so angry at the world and what I was given and the cards I've been dealt, if you will, or the way in which my experiences were laying out in front of me. And I was so closed off that I generally don't think I hit a ball in the court once in like a month. It came out in my athletic performance.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's like we said, that's because, like we said, we're body and soul. And I like to say body, mind, and soul, and they all affect one another, right? And so if one of those things is off, whether that's spiritually or, the kind of mental, like I'm closed off mentally, I'm frustrated, or just this physical posture of I'm closed off to the world, I'm upset, that is actually going to affect our performance. I can think of the time I was most closed off my first few years of college when I was in injury and deep pain. And the result of that for me was an interior darkness, but I'd say also this like selfishness.
Yeah.
Like I was so focused on myself, my goals, coming back. And yeah, it was like resulted in a lot of navel gazing, if you will.
And so it brings us to the question of, can we be both feminine, competitive, which we talked about in the beginning? They're almost complementarity of each other. But what does that look like? What does it look like on the field, off the field?
Well, I think you have to define competitiveness, right? There's this negative connotation with it. If you're closed off.
Yeah.
Right? If you're only focused on yourself, then the nature of competitiveness, the goal of competitiveness is I need to get ahead. I need to win. I've told this story before, but I had a college teammate that at one point was the backup goalie to an underclassman. And we were at an away game and I was on the bench. I think this was my junior year. I didn't really get playing time until my senior and my fifth year. And the goalie got taken out, like somebody hit her. And she went down, so she was injured. And the girl next to me on the bench said, "Good. I hope she's hurt." Which, right, is the exact opposite antithesis of teamwork, of sport. But if we're honest with ourselves, like, how many of us have thought that before about the girl in our position, right? That's false competitiveness. That's a competitiveness that is closed off. It's focused on just me. It's selfish. And in many ways, that's, I would argue, like the world's definition of competitiveness, right? I have to get ahead no matter what it takes.
Yeah.
And I think we as women, I mean, you see it on the male side, and men are a little bit more emotional, less emotional, and they can just kind of like step on each other's shoulders. But we as women, we can be brutal.
Yeah. Tear each other down, negative comments, all the above. Yeah. And it's so sad because that is exactly the opposite of what God wants. He wants us to will the good of others. I had a coach tell me once that if you're not competing with the girls in your position, then you're not going to be on the court because you're not willing the good of them. Therefore, if you're against a team and you're in practice, whatever, against another girl in your position, if she's doing bad, then it's like, oh, okay, I won. That's my spot. There's no competitiveness. But if you're willing the good of her, then it makes you more competitive.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. When we are open, when we're receptive, open first and foremost to God, right? His will for sport, which is love and goodness and virtue, but open to our own femininity, which makes us open to other people. Then true competitiveness, which is what we're defining here, because yes, you are called to be competitive.
Yeah.
True competitiveness, as you just said, is you want the other people in your position, even the other team, to show up with their A game.
Right.
Because that's going to bring the best out of you. I love asking this question of athletes, like, what's more fun if you blow out a team? I mean, in volleyball, it's like, you blow them out in 3 sets and it's, 25-10.
Right.
Is that more fun than the game that goes to 5 sets and maybe you even lose? Like, which is more fun?
The 5-setter every time. Yeah.
Every time. Why?
You're competing for an extended amount of time. Yeah.
And it's bringing the best out in you.
Yeah.
Like, it is pushing you to your limit. Like, that's true competitiveness, right? And so whether it's with another team or it's with a teammate, and not only like, I think this doesn't just apply on the court, right? It's like, I love to surround myself with our staff or with women who are total BAs on a physical level, but also they're women that like are chasing after the Lord. And in a sense, we're competitive with one another, but not in like, I need to beat you, but in like, oh my goodness, look at what this friend of mine is doing to pursue holiness. That inspires me.
Yeah.
And that inspires me to then level up and recommit or be more generous or strive for virtue, because I have somebody else that I'm like running alongside with.
Yeah.
Not just trying to like tear down and beat,
Right. Yeah. And in cohesively willing the good of each other. Yeah.
And that in its own right, like, bears life.
Right.
And that, I think, when you have somebody, when you can, and I've seen this, women have done this for me, and I have been privileged. It's such a privilege to do this for others. When you can create a space that a woman can come into, and she knows that you're not trying to tear her down, you're not trying to beat her, but rather you are trying to embolden her, encourage her, allow her to be who God created her to be, different from you, but equal. You actually desire her holiness like more than your own, right? It's like the litany of humility. Like the last line of it is along the lines of, Lord, like, gosh, what's the exact? It's like, Lord, allow others to become holier than I, granted that I become as holy as I should. Right? Like, we should want people to surpass us in holiness and to be a part of that process, to bear life, to be so open that others can come fully alive in our presence or under our encouragement or in and through us. You want to talk femininity?
Yeah.
Whew.
Right.
And that's by us being our full selves too.
Yeah. Yeah. And on the contrary, like the sports world has really turned that into a negative. Almost like, hey, I'm willing the good of you, but there's always that but.
Yeah.
So, and then it turns into they're just women competing. What does that look like on a sports team? We're just women, I guess.
Oh, gosh, I don't know. It's kind of reductionistic.
Yeah.
If that's even a word. It reduces us. I'd say it reduces our femininity. It's, yeah, we're just women. No, we are women.
Right.
I love
that
that.
objective.
Yeah.
That we talked about. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you're saying you're just, that word almost implies we're less than. I think the result of that, we kind of talked about this earlier, but the result of that, and this kind of swings the pendulum a little bit, but the result of that is, well, they're just women, is, well, then let's just reduce them to their bodies.
Yeah.
Or let's put them in particularly scandalous clothing so that they draw fans because they're just women.
Right.
And they're just an object, right, to be viewed or lusted after or whatever. And so, yeah, you've seen, and that's women being closed off, but that's also men not being sacrificial and being dominant.
Mm-hmm.
And in an attempt to create this equality in sport, it's like we've compensated. You know, it's like, okay, what is, I'm sorry, I'm going to call it out. Like, what's the Sports Illustrated women's edition or naked edition or whatever it's called? It's like, we're showing off these beautiful female bodies, and that's incredible. And we'll talk in future episodes about the stunningness of the strong body. But sport becomes over-sexualized.
Yeah.
And that's not true femininity either.
Right. Yeah. And then as a woman who's playing that sport and being over-sexualized, I feel like I've fallen into this so many times too before, is that like I want to be desired, but it's misguided into, oh, that's me being valued. There's such a, we want that desired. We want to be desired.
Because it comes back to what we said about Eve, right? We want to be seen and known and loved.
Yeah.
But why are we not appreciated? Well, just period, for like who we are as daughters of God, right? Mm-hmm. But why are we not appreciated for athletic talent? Why does it have to be reduced to what we look like? You know, this reminds me, there's a number of years ago, one of the number one soccer players in the country. I mean, this girl was dirty. Like, I watched a game, and I mean, as a soccer player, I can appreciate a certain amount of skill, and I watched this girl play, and I was floored. And so I looked her up on Instagram, and what I was looking for was like soccer highlights. Like, I want to see these girls' other goals. Like, I want to see, you know, other highlights. And not that I'm reducing her to that, but that's like her God-given talent on display. Mm-hmm. And her whole social media was all her posing in a bikini, like picture after picture after picture. And it made me ask the question, like, what in her makes her believe that is what she has to present? Rather than just letting her giftedness speak for itself.
Yeah.
You know, like, and again, this is I mean, we've all been there. We've all looked for attention from others in unhealthy ways. And it begs the question, and it's a challenge to our listeners of like, why are you posting the picture? Why are you posing like that? Why are you looking for attention in this way? And again, it just all comes back to the God-shaped hole. Right?
Yep.
We are looking to be filled in a way that reduces us to just something bodily. And unfortunately, I think sport has gone along with that narrative.
Yeah.
And so it creates this interesting dichotomy, right? On one end, we have this over-sexualization, whether that be through, exterior factors or in how women act and dress and flaunt. But then on the other end, we have this kind of anti-feminine posture, this closed offness that I think we see exhibited in the Megan Rapinoe, right? It's this anti-woman, we are just feminine. Megan Rapinoe is feminine, period, right? But there's this attempt to reject the motherly, tender, open, beautiful, selfless side of it that results in kind of this selfish feminism. Yeah, and that can manifest, I don't just want to call it one person, that can manifest in a whole slew of ways. And it's manifested in my own life, right? Like we're all battling between, trying to reject our femininity and be closed off versus being like overly exposed. But those are the two extremes, and virtue's always in the middle. And so what's in the middle?
Yeah. It's a good question. I mean, it's probably one that can only be answered by God.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the virtue in what I feel like we practice every day within our teammates. And the way we compete with each other for that position or that starting spot. It's whether, we braid each other's hair before practice or
I can't braid.
For the game.
You are the team hair braider.
Right. But yeah, I don't know. What would you say the virtue is?
Well, I think, right, it comes back to remaining open, remaining receptive. But what does that look like? That can be both competitive and fierce, but I'm also actually called to be tender and motherly. And there's something in me that comes out when I'm focused on the other.
Yeah.
Whether that's physically picking somebody up off the ground, whether that's emotionally supporting a teammate, or that's verbally supporting somebody and encouraging them, I think I saw in my own life when I shifted away from this is all about me to no, this is about my teammates, encouraging them, bringing them closer to Christ, loving them as he would where they're at. That maternity kind of came out, that maternal side of my heart. Like we're all called to be mother, which is a scandalous thing to say in our society because there's this, right, feminism rejects motherhood as something that's limiting, but no, motherhood, and I'm not just talking about physical motherhood. A lot of us are called to that, and that is stunning, but a spiritual motherhood.
Yeah.
A call to nurture and be there for each other. Yeah, I think that's how we live out that femininity.
Yeah. And I think back to the point of, okay, well, can you be competitive and feminine? Like being a mother, I mean, my own mother is my biggest fan, but also my biggest critic, if you will, in the sense of like, no, she'll tell me when I'm doing something wrong.
Of course.
Right? And so
she wants your good,
and
not because she's trying to tear you down.
Yeah. And that's the same as teammates. It's like, hey, I'm going to encourage you to dig that ball, hit a PR, run as fast as you can. But I'm also going to tell you like, hey, your platform looks a little off or whatever it is, right? Because I am willing the good of you. I want you to be the best you can be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is, again, I think countercultural, right? Because we have this fear of confrontation. We have this false sense of empathy. We have, everybody's got to, get along and feel okay. And it's like, that's not true love. That's tolerance.
Yeah.
No matter what it is, if you see somebody doing something that's harming them or selfish or harming the team, like it's in our nature as women to not, call them out, but to gently pull them aside and say, listen, this isn't helping you. Or, hey, I see this happening. Like maybe you could try this, and this isn't just within a team and skill. Like this is on a broader level. If you're not living the way God has called us and God's path is what leads to true joy and happiness and protects us the most, right? Then you're harming yourself.
Right.
And it is our role as women in a very nurturing way to earn the right to be heard, to earn the respect of others, to love others so that we can help them.
Yeah. And being on the other end of that, I think, I mean, I can attest to being on both sides, right? Of being that motherly figure, but also being that receptive, younger underclassman of like, oh yeah, wow. Okay, I shouldn't do that. Or it's not for the good of the team. I think we find ourselves in that middle ground, if you will, the virtue of receiving, but also being able to say, no, that doesn't serve me. And that goes back to our identity number one of other people's opinion. Is it serving me or is it hurting me? Yeah.
One point I would like to make, because I'm sure we have some listeners who are in sports that are more solitary, right? So maybe they're, cross country or track, like there is a team element. You're out there, but sometimes it's very individualistic. Same with tennis, like you're the one on the court. Or if you're an individual racing, like it can be harder to see, okay, how do I be receptive and how do I bear forth life if it's just me?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure you're part of a broader team potentially, or you're part of a broader family, or you're part of a broader school. But I'm sure we even have some athletes that are even post-college and competing in marathons or triathlon or whatever. Like, how does it apply then? And again, it's a posture. I think on a very practical level, right? You're in a race. Who's to say you can't turn to the person next to you and encourage them? Make that gift outside of yourself.
Yeah.
And this gets a little bit more into the spiritual, which we'll cover in future weeks. But, when we work out, and this is kind of the revelation I had. I was on a rowing machine one day, and, I've played college soccer. I've done a half Ironman. There is nothing worse than a rowing machine / rowing race. Like, it is just pure anaerobic pain for 8 minutes or 20 minutes, depending on the distance. Anyway, I was in the middle of a rowing workout and I was like suffering. And I had picked an intention to offer the workout up for prior.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of had this revelation, and this is one of the reasons that I love to work out, is because sometimes I have my biggest spiritual revelations when I'm in the midst of pain. It's like when you're on that cusp, it's almost like heavenly, like you just feel close to God because you're dying. Not really dying, but like you're just exhausted.
Right.
Anyway, God speaks to me in these moments. And I just had this deep revelation of, oh my gosh, like right now I am being receptive to pain. I am choosing suffering.
Mm-hmm.
Like when we choose our sport, we choose to go for a run, we choose to lift, we choose to play. Like we are choosing suffering. We're choosing being receptive to suffering. And I am open to that, and I am using that to make a gift of myself by offering it up. Right? There's this concept of, it's in Colossians 1:24, we can make up what's lacking in the sufferings of Christ. Not that Christ's suffering wasn't enough, but we can unite our breathing heavy, cramped muscles, pain, to his breathing heavy, cramped muscles, pain, bleeding of his crucifixion. We can take our suffering in a small, small way and offer it with intention to him, and he can bless that. It's a way to pray for others. Mm-hmm. And by doing that, I was exercising my femininity. It's one of the reasons I love to work out. And one of the reasons too, I think sometimes when we work out, right, it's all about, I have to, and it's interesting, men's brains, sorry, this is my psychology coming out. Men's brains can like totally check out. Like they actually have the ability to, it's called the nothing box. There's this whole spoof on it. But women, we can't. Like our brains are so interconnected. We actually cannot think about nothing.
Right.
Men can. We can't. Our brains are always on. And, there's one philosophy in sport where, well, I'm just going to step away. I'm going to numb myself. I'm going to step outside of the pain. I don't know that's the right way to do it. Yeah. And as women, we really can't. But I think you enter into the pain cave and you sit there. You embrace it.
Yeah.
And you embrace the depths of it. And you offer that as a prayer. Like that is feminine. Like I'm about to go work out right now. Like podcast episode over. Let's go, and there is a profound feminine openness and gift of self in that.
Yeah. So what would you say a good takeaway would be for our listeners then to practice? I mean, that might be it. Go do a really hard workout. But yeah, what would you say a good takeaway?
Yeah, I would say that. I would say it's twofold, depending on your situation. Your next hard workout, pick an intention, enter the pain cave and pray. And don't you dare leave that. Don't you dare cut corners. Don't you dare cut the time. Like enter in.
Skip a rep. Yeah.
Nope.
Nothing.
Fullness, right? And if you're doing that workout or that game or whatever alongside somebody else, offer it for them, but then go outside of yourself to like encourage them verbally, right?
Yeah.
And so like you're in the pain cave, you're offering it for them, and then you offer that encouragement. You're open to them and their suffering, right? I think sometimes when we suffer, we can come closed in. It's about me. I just have to get through this. But actually there's a beauty to like, whoa, I'm in this and you're in this and we're in this together. And when they start faltering, to say, listen, we're in this together. We got this, like lean on me.
Yeah.
Let me take your pain. Let me take the extra weight or the rep or whatever. Yeah, I think making that
good.
gift of self.
Yeah, we should go work out.
All right. Well, we are going to go work out.
Yeah. Thanks so much for watching. Please join our Patreon community. Check us out on our website. Leave your thoughts and comments down below. We'd love to hear. We'll do some Q&A sections here soon. So
yeah. And if you're heading out for a workout, we'd love to hear what you offered up for, how it went. And in the meantime, please reach out if you need anything. Know of our prayers for you. Thanks for listening. Just go and continue to be feminine and live that out as God has called you to.
We'll see you next time.
Thank you for joining us. And remember, be fierce.